What is up, guys? Today I'm going to be talking about the best Amazon product launch strategies you can use in 2018 and 2019 to make sure your products rank to the first page and, most importantly, make sure they stay there. Now, product launches are by far the second most important thing about your Amazon business after the product itself. If you don't get a successful product launch, you cannot expect to make any money whatsoever. Somewhere in the region of 50% plus of the sales are made on the first page, and then 50% of those sales tend to be made in the products ranked 1 to 5. So really you want to get yourself to page 1 and ideally to the top ranking positions. Now there's lots of videos out there on these strategies. However, Amazon is a platform that changes all the time, and using strategies that might have worked even 3 months ago could now get you banned. So it's best to stay up to date on this. The strategies that I, like many other successful sellers, like to use are ones that stand the test of time. Then they're not going to work today and then not work tomorrow. However, if that does change, I'll be sure to come back and do an update video. But for now, let's get into the video. Let's get into the tutorial. First, I think it's important to discuss what doesn't work and why people tend to have issues launching their products. Now, first and foremost, some things I'm not going to be covering in this tutorial is how to optimize your listing and how to choose a good product. Now, those are fundamental to making sure that your launch works. However, I could go into talking about those subjects for hours, and I will talk about them in other videos. I've got plenty of videos on my channel that you can check out, and if you need a tutorial on anything specific, just feel free to leave a comment down below and let me know what you need help with. So launching won't work at all if your product offer is no good. If you're sending into Amazon the same product as every other seller with no variations whatsoever, you cannot expect to succeed in this day and age. Amazon is now so competitive, you really need to be able to differentiate your product from other sellers in order to be able to succeed. So launching doesn't work if you haven't got a good product to back it up. You'll also struggle to make your launch successful if your listing isn't well optimized. Now, a well optimized listing meets the following criteria. It's priced well. Now that doesn't mean it's necessarily priced low. It means it's priced well. It's a price that matches the kind of product you're offering. If you're offering a premium product and you price it low, there's a kind of disconnect there for the buyers, and they might not be that into your product. Whereas, strangely enough, you can actually raise the price of your product and expect to see more buyers as people perceive a better value in that product. So there's the pricing's important, there's your title, there's your pictures, there's your bullet points, making sure it's fully optimized for search and for sales, so you're having good, strong, compelling copy in there. A lot of people will launch and they'll have crap pictures, they'll have a crap title, the pricing will be wrong. All these things will mean your launching fails. The launch strategy I see most people having problems with on a consistent basis is choosing just to give out discount codes for their product without really monitoring how many they should be giving on what days. Lots of people like to do an all-in-one approach where they give out all their discount codes on one day and try and spike their sales. Amazon doesn't really like the look of this. They want to see consistent sales on a daily basis, preferably increasing over time. There's also the approach of just suck it and see, just sticking your stuff on Amazon hoping people are going to find it and sell it. There is the occasional outside product that this works for, but in the state of Amazon that is now, how competitive it is, you really can't be leaving your product on there without doing a proper product launch. Okay, so this is a quick overview of the overall strategy. There's 2 phases to the overall launch, and that is the pre-launch and the launch itself. The pre-launch consists of audience building and communicating with that audience. I'm going to get into more details about these specifics in the later on slides. And then the launch itself, there's PPC, discounts, external traffic, and a sustained promo to that audience. And you really want to be using all of the above to have the most success. So first, let's cover the pre-launch. Pre-launch always starts with market research. In fact, that should be one of the earliest things you do in your product. You want to learn some fundamental things about your market and your buyers. You want to learn the kind of language they use. You want to learn what kind of problems they have. You want to learn what their likes and dislikes are. You want to learn their age, their gender, what kind of job they've got. You want to learn as much information about your potential buyers and the market as possible. So then once you've done your bit of market research and you find out your ideal customer avatar, as it's known, your ideal buyer, you want to find out where they hang out and you want to put content there. It's that simple. So I've got some examples in some later slides. This is the overall pre-launch approach, the kind of marketing approach where all you're doing is building an audience and starting to build trust and recognition in the audience, so that when you have a product to release, they're very eager to buy it. So in terms of the marketing channels that you want to use, there's social media, obviously, there's blogging, email messenger listing, and a pixeled audience. Again, I'll dive into more details about all of these in later slides, but you basically want to pick 2 of these and stick to it. Don't try and cover everything. Don't have a Facebook and a Twitter and a YouTube and then be blogging and an email and a messenger list. You're just going to get overloaded. I'd try and pick a few and really stick to it. That's what I've done myself. In my new brand, I have an Instagram account that I've managed to grow to 5,000 followers in a couple of months, and I also have an email list and a messenger list, and I'm just sticking to those main things and putting as much energy into it as I can, because you'll find that if you try and work on 10 different platforms at once, it won't work nearly as well as if you really concentrate on 1 or 2 and then try and grow them. And then once they've grown, you can start to send traffic to these other marketing channels, and you can slowly feed off them and grow overall. But until then, I'll just focus on a few. Now, I will just like to point out one disclaimer that an email or a messenger list is vital to the launch strategy. So you really do need to invest in one of these. It doesn't matter which. Make sure you have one of these down. And then I typically go for a form of social media, and those 2 would work quite well together. So in terms of building a social media, which platform would you choose? Well, that depends really on where your audience is. A lot of people make the mistake of choosing a platform based on what they like, but for the best results, you really need to go and find out where your market is. So I've got a few notes here based on the most popular types of social media. LinkedIn, that won't apply to most of you here, but if you're doing business to business sales, you find a lot of marketers and kind of like business growth analysts and similar kind of service-based roles on LinkedIn, promoting their services on there. Facebook really has the older demographics. You're really looking at kind of 25 to 65, and believe it or not, it's kind of focused more around that higher age. Instagram's more of a younger demographic. You get 18-year-olds, maybe 35-year-olds on there mostly. And Pinterest is a mostly female demographic, and it kind of works well with products that are visual, and you can kind of build a visual story around. If you have products that look aesthetically pleasing and you can take some nice photos of, you'd probably have great success on Pinterest. It's also important to note that obviously Facebook and Instagram work on the same platform. So in my new brand, I have an Instagram page and a Facebook page linked up, and I'll do posts on both simultaneously, but Instagram's my main focus, and that's really where I've seen the best growth, and that's only because of the product type that I know that's where the audience hangs out. Now, Pinterest would have been a good option for me had I done this research up front, and I could be seeing a multiple on the amount of growth that I've got at the moment. So make sure you do your due diligence before you choose your social channels and make the best choice for your business. Now, it's not enough to just build an audience on social media, and I'll explain why. That is because you do not own that audience. Instagram owns that audience, Twitter owns that audience, LinkedIn owns that audience. If one day they decide to shut your account down, or if one day they disappear, that's it. That's the end of your marketing on that channel. So the best thing you can do is invest in an email list. If you own an email list, that is yours. If you own an email list, that is an asset your business has control over. So I definitely invest in an email list. Now, a messenger list is another spin on an email list. They kind of work quite similarly. Messenger is within the Facebook Messenger platform, and you have a bot that will send out subscriptions and sequences, similarly to the way an email list works. And this is really powerful because it helps you build a more intimate connection with your potential customers, and it's shown to have an extremely high ROI. So if you invest in building an email list or a messenger list, it will pay you back a lot more in the future. It's also super useful if you want to do things like grow a blog, because you can drive traffic over to that blog on demand. But how do you get people to give you their email address or opt into your messenger bot? Now, that's pretty simple. All you need to do is create a landing page with a lead magnet. Now, a lead magnet is a marketing term that's been coined. All it literally means is a magnet for leads. So I've had success before using a lead magnet in the form of a downloadable PDF that kind of solves a problem my market might have. So for example, I'm just looking around in the office now, I've got some plants in here. So you could have a lead magnet that would simply be how to take care of your indoor plants. and someone would stick their email address in, and then you would deliver them a PDF and then they'd download it. It's that simple. Another thing to note about your landing page is to make sure that you put a pixel on it. Now, there are loads of tutorials all over YouTube of how to get a pixel, but it's super important because in the future, if you want to buy Facebook ads, you want to use the data you get from that pixel, because that'll give you the best results by far for your advertising. So make sure you get that pixel on your landing page on your website early and start generating data for that pixel. And finally, and the most crucial thing, is that once you've started building that list, make sure that you're communicating with them regularly. Even if you've got a small list of 100 people, it doesn't matter. As long as you're communicating with them and starting to build a relationship, they will become big fans of yours. And there's been occasions of people in information-based niches such as internet marketing that have launched programs to lists of like 100. They made thousands upon thousands, even tens of thousands, just from launching to a small list. So the most crucial thing is to make sure that you build a relationship with that list. Okay, now we're getting on to the launch phase. So there's 4 components to the launch phase, and to have the most success, do all 4. This sends really strong signals to the Amazon that your product is in high demand, and they will reward you as such. They will stick you on the first page, no problem, if you implement all 4 of these components in your launch. I've had great success for this. All of my products go straight to the first page because I make sure that I implement all 4. I don't get lazy and just do a bit of PPC. I don't just throw out a few discount codes. I do all of the above to make sure I get bestsellers consistently. So I'll do a quick overview of the PPC strategy. PPC is something that I could go into depth talking about for hours, and I will give a tutorial on PPC in the future. And make sure you subscribe to this channel and turn notifications on to be the first to get that PPC tutorial. But I'll just cover some basic overarching points here. First, make sure you turn PPC on from day one. There's a lot of debate about this, but if you turn your PPC advertising on, someone lands on your product and buys it, and that sends a strong signal to Amazon that your product is in demand, and they'll start to rank you. Also, you get something crucial, you get data. Data is invaluable in this business, and by turning your PPC on early, you can start to gather useful customer data. The approach I like to take is to start both manual and automatic campaigns from day one. The manual campaign, I use a master list of related keywords to my product, and I do broad, exact match and phrase campaigns for all of them, setting a fairly low budget and fairly low bids to start with. I also start an automatic campaign. Then after a week or 2, I'll download the data for all of those campaigns, and I will start to get rid of unprofitable keywords and start to put more money into keywords that are making me money. I also see a lot of people asking, what should my budget for PPC be? And that's up to you. It depends on how aggressive you want to be with your launch. If you put more money into PPC, you will rank quicker, but you will spend more money, so it's something to be aware of. Now, I see a lot of chatter about discounts, a lot of people claiming they no longer work. They do work if you use them properly. It doesn't matter if you use a launch service or you distribute your own codes using a landing page, either work. I've used Viral Launch for my last product and it worked an absolute treat. I've got a link in the description if you want to check out Viral Launch. Their launch service worked seriously well. I didn't have any luck the first time I ran it, so they let me run it again for free, and that was an error on my behalf. So a big shout out to them for that, because that worked really well. And the second kind of component to the discount codes is kind of how you should deliver them, how many you should do, and over what time. You want to make the same amount of sales as the top ranking products to rank alongside them, so you need to give out at least the same amount of discount codes as they do. You also want to do this over a prolonged basis, maybe a week to 10 days. You want to slowly increment how many you give out day by day. So say we're talking about plants again, you've got a competitor that's selling 300 watering cans a month. That's 10 watering cans a day, so you want to match that over a week or 10 days. So that's 70 or 100 watering cans you want to give away, and you want to slowly increment them over the days. So say day 1 you'd start at 5, day 2 10, day 3 15, and so on, all the way until the end day you're giving the most units. Now this kind of signals to Amazon that your product's slowly gaining more interest over time, and they'll reward you as such, and you'll start to move up the ranks. Finally, I'll talk about external traffic. Now this isn't always necessary, it depends how competitive your niche is and how many units the competitors are selling, but it's certainly useful, and Amazon love to see external traffic being sent to their website. So make sure you use this. Some important things to note are you must have a decent profit margin, and you really need to know your stuff regarding your targeting, regarding your ad creative. I'm sorry if this all sounds complicated. I can do a tutorial on ads in another video. I use Facebook ads myself. I've been using them for a while, so if you want to know more about Facebook ads, just leave a comment down below and I'll do a full tutorial on Facebook ads and how to get the most bang for your buck with using them. So an important thing to note about external traffic is not to send it directly to your listing or to your storefront. What you want to do is send that traffic to a squeeze page. Now, a squeeze page is the same thing as a landing page. All that it will do is people will land on that page, and then you'll offer them a discount code for your product, and that can be anything from like 40% all the way to 90%. It depends on how strong of an offer it is and how many you want to give away and how much interest you want to get. Now, the way Facebook works, people are only going there to see updates about what their friends have been up to, maybe look at some cute cats, stuff like that. So if you want to interrupt that browsing behavior and get them to buy something off you, you need to have a really compelling offer. Now, that means a really good product, a really cool or interesting or different ad, or basically giving it away for free. So that's why 90% plus discounts work so well on Facebook. The advantage to doing it this way over using a service is that you generate your own email list, which you can then leverage in the future when you release other products. And from using this method, every single time you release products, it gets easier and easier as your audience grows over time and you build a bigger and bigger brand. And finally, I'm going to talk about how you can leverage that audience. So don't just stop there over the week or 10 days. Keep promoting your product to your social media, to your email list. Talk about your product in blog posts. And most importantly, don't let communication go quiet after your launch is finished. Carry on sending content to your social media and to your email list and to your messenger list, and really build a strong relationship. And that'll pay you dividends in the future. And next time you launch a product, those people will be super keen and super eager to buy it. And finally, congratulations, because I can guarantee if you follow everything in this tutorial, you will rank to page 1. Just make sure that you implement every single thing in this tutorial. Don't miss out any steps. Not only will you be able to rank your product, but you'll be building strong business assets that will pay you money further down the line. So guys, I hope you enjoyed this video, this tutorial. If you've got any questions about Amazon FBA at all, hit me up on Facebook Messenger. The link is down in the description. If you've got anything else you want me to do an Amazon tutorial on, let me know. Please like the video if you like the video, and subscribe to the channel for more tutorials to come. Cheers guys, peace.